Okay. So there are only three workouts for the upper body, the deep core, and the lower body. The upper body is going to strengthen and align the shoulder girdle, and you're going to have better posture with the neck and the upper back and better transference of force. And it's going to relieve your tension headaches because what really ends up happening is the shoulders become this very nice foundation for the long, skinny neck muscles to support this big bowling ball of a head. And so it's going to relieve the tension headaches because your muscles are going to come into more alignment so that your head isn't just like hanging out here in the wilderness. It's really going to be in a nice position. The better transference of force goes along also with the lower body. So I'll tell you about that when we get to the lower body. The deep core is going to strengthen the entire circumference of your core. Your core is really your entire torso and it wraps all the way around. A lot of people just think that the core is the six pack, but it is so many other muscles deep next to the bones underneath your organs, as well as a little bit more superficial, closer to the skin where you can see them. The amazing effects of doing the deep core is you're going to have a snatched waist. Your waistline is going to come in, your abdominals are going to lay flatter, and long term for the females, it's going to help us keep our bladder inside of our body. As we age, and especially if we have children, one of the things that happens to women is our bladder prolapses. It can actually completely exit out of your vagina, and that's really an extreme situation, but a lot of times the bladder will just drop and it puts a lot of uncomfortable pressure on your insides. And so when you learn how to pull your bathroom muscles up, this is going to long term make your deep core really strong and your pelvic floor really strong. And then also, like if you are wanting to have kids, it's going to really help you during your pregnancy. It's going to help you when you have labor, and it's going to help you postpartum. The lower body, and then also with the deep core, the more your mind body connection knows how to fire the muscles of your deep core when you're doing anything athletic, or if you're moving something heavy, or you want to squeeze out a few more reps, or you want to try to use a heavier weight, you're going to be able to naturally brace with your core so that you can get more athleticism out of your body. A lot of times the core is hard to work because it doesn't have a bunch of bones to attach to. It's mostly soft tissue, and the more we can strengthen it, the more the organs have support, and then actually your digestion is going to improve because the organs are having a container to be in. So it's really exciting to work your deep core like this because it's really beneficial to your health, and then it's also going to give you some nice aesthetics. For the lower body, this strengthens and aligns the pelvic girdle. So we say that there's a shoulder girdle and a pelvic girdle, and you have better posture throughout your entire back because when the pelvis is set correctly, then the natural curve of the lumbar curve that goes in, the thoracic curve that goes out, the cervical curve that's supposed to go in, can all find their placement better. And the more that your spinal curves have their correct curves, the more shock absorption happens. So then you have a better back. When the back is straight, like how mine is, how my thoracic spine is straight, but then it goes forward and it's dented to the side, and then my cervical spine goes forward. I don't have great shock absorption in my back. So I don't do bouncy things. I don't run, I don't sprint, I don't do anything that has a big up and down force because my spine's just not equipped for it. So when you work the pelvis, you're going to have better effects throughout your entire spine. It's going to relieve knee pain because a lot of times our knee pain is happening because the pelvic joint actually isn't moving the way it's designed. It's supposed to move like this. And so if you think about the shape of your sacrum, it's an upside down triangle. And then each hip on each side kind of goes like this on top of it. And so the pelvis is supposed to work like this. Each hip is supposed to rotate forward and backward. but a lot of time it's a little teeny tiny hairline of a joint. It actually is stuck on most of us. So then what happens is if the pelvic joint isn't moving, then the joints above and below have to pick up the slack. So that's why sometimes we have low back pain, and that's why sometimes we have knee pain, because those joints are trying to do the function of the hip, and that's not how they're designed. So it's really great to work your pelvis. And then, of course, like the benefits, you're going to get a nicer ass, which is amazing. So, like I said, the upper body and the lower body have to do with the transference of energy. When you walk, your heel touches the floor, and there is force when your heel strikes the floor. It goes through the backside of your body, it goes through the hip, crosses through the hip, and then the force actually starts to dissipate out the temple. This is actually a little sand dollar type of a joint right here. And your opposite hand. So that's why when you see runners or sprinters, you see that their arms and their legs are moving in opposition. That is how the fulcrums are designed. And so like when we like wear a purse and we lock out one shoulder and then we're walking, haven't you noticed that your other arm swings extra? That's because this one isn't transferring the force. So when we're doing the alignment exercises with the shoulders and the pelvis, then you have energy moving through your body in a more fluid way, the way your body is designed. It's an X pattern. And a lot of times, a lot of us have lost this because our lifestyle is a lot of sitting, and we're in front of the computers, and then we're in front of the phones. And so we're really locked into not having our body functioning the way it needs to be. All of these exercises are going to help the mind body connection for advancing your athleticism and your aesthetics. So, what I mean is, if you're doing these exercises, right, and you're doing the bodybuilding program that I have in this container, the bodybuilding program is working the muscles that complement these alignment exercises. So you're going to get really deep into your body so that you can connect with it, so that you can enhance the communication, so that you can restore function. And now, if this is the prep portion, the prep is the bodybuilding is putting exercises that are going to facilitate these structures that you're aligning right now in the alignment exercises. So then, as you watch your body transform and you get more of that hourglass shape where your chest is open and your shoulders have definition from your chest, and your butt gets higher and rounder and fuller and more definition from your legs, your waistline comes in, and then you look at yourself and you're like, wow, I want more. And so, whatever body parts that you end up really liking, you can accentuate and you can work those body parts even more because you have an understanding. So, like for me, I really want to have big round shoulders, and I really want to work the armpit area because the armpit area makes me feel like my head has a really strong platform. And aesthetically, that looks really nice to have more muscle there than fat. So when I do my workouts, I'm doing things to make sure my shoulder is down and I can feel that I stay engaged in this area. And then I'm working the shoulders and really emphasizing side shoulder raises so that I really fill out an hourglass shape to balance my glutes. So you may not really be into having shoulders. You might want to be more of a pear shape where you have a narrow upper body and then more of a big round butt. So that's great. You're going to have more of a connection to say, you know what, maybe I'm not going to hit my shoulders as much. Maybe I'm just going to work on my upper back so that I can make sure my posture is up, but I'm really going to focus on building the glutes. That's fine. That's amazing. So that's how you build this connection with your body to prepare yourself for more aesthetic transformation long term. And then when we're talking about advancing your athleticism, the more you are connected with your shoulders and your hips into your deep core, then your body starts to recognize that it's actually one organism. So many times people think that the foot is just the foot and it has nothing to do with your hand. The ankle is just the ankle and it has nothing to do with your elbow. It's all connected because there's all different pulley systems that allow your body to move in all different ways. There's all these different types of connections that work together. And so when your body understands this on a very deep level with the joints, shoulders and hips work together. The deep core works together. then whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to take up hiking, if you want to take up rock climbing, if you want to start ice skating, you're going to have so much more body awareness so that you prevent injury and you are just a better performer in whatever athletic endeavor that you're doing.